Sisters and your brothers, it was God's will for you to gather together with this morning. We're together today for a time that's temporary and for a purpose that's eternal. The awakening of ourselves into our true nature, the glad remembrance of who we are and whose we are, the deepening of our knowing there's no need to fear. Even though the world looks like a scary place, and it can feel like a scary place, and there are experiences here that don't necessarily feel good, and there are experiences here that can break our heart. But we're here to remember that greater is the power that is within us than any experience we'll ever experience in our surround. If you don't know you have a power that is great within you, it's no wonder that sometimes we just shake in our boots because the shadow looks so real. It feels so real. And if we're facing the shadow or even engulfed by it, and we don't remember that we are the light of the world, then we will feel lost. One thing I've learned in my life, that when I am forgetting I'm the light, I'm going to find somebody else and hope they'll be my light. And some of them try their best to do that, and they discover that they don't have what it takes. I myself, as a minister throughout my life, have tried to be the light of the world for a number of people who were in an experience psychologically or emotionally or financially in a place of darkness. And I discovered that no matter how I preached, what I said, how great my hugs were, how deep and intensive my Reiki sessions or other healing work was for them, I can't be the light of the world for anyone else. But if I am the light of the world, everyone who is in my presence gets reminded that there is a light within them too. I'm so grateful that we have an opportunity to gather together just to remember, as I said before, that there is a power within us that is greater than and beyond all of our circumstances. I've learned from my experience in my life that it is possible to praise even when I'm trekking through the valley of the shadow of death. That it's possible for me to praise on the very evening my mother takes her last breath, on the very day that my father takes his, on the day I get a notice saying you're evicted, or this job you love is not being financed to continue. It was a while before I started praising in the midst of challenge. I used to save my praise when everything was going hunky-dory, just like I wanted it to. Yay, God, you're awesome. But eventually I did learn that when I'm knocked on my knees, to be down there saying, hey God, you're awesome. And when I'm looking for another place to live or applying for another job or mourning the relationship that ended, I still can take a deep breath and go, hey God, you're awesome. You have brought me through the valley of the shadow so many times. Fortunately, my mind won't even let me remember all the times that you have brought me through. So many times of darkness, so many experiences of isolation, always recovered. Always like that little lost lamb. The truth comes to get me. The Christ within me picks me up and carries me home. So that's why we're here today, to make contact. I was once again this morning ironing this shirt. For the first 3 minutes of ironing it, I wondered why the wrinkles weren't going away. And then I remembered, you've done this before. You clearly have probably forgotten to plug it in. So sure enough, I glanced over to where the cord was, and it was laying on on the table, next to, but not plugged into the outlet. So today, me, I've come here to plug in.
All right.
I'm running around here trying to iron my own shirt.
Hey, plug it
In
in,
the
baby.
greater life experience,
Plug it in, baby.
if I'm trying to get it straightened out in the greater life experience, and it doesn't seem to be happening, it's not that something's wrong with the iron.
Okay.
It's that I just didn't plug it in. When I plugged that iron in this morning, it was mind-blowing how quickly I got this straightened out. That iron was waiting to be plugged in. It wanted to show off how quick it could squirt that steam and press out wrinkles.
You gotta plug me in.
It happened so quick. So that's what I want for us today.
Yeah.
I want us to use this energy vortex that is as powerful as any vortex in Sedona, Arizona, or Indonesia, or anywhere else. And I want us to plug into it with faith and with gratitude. And wherever you are in your life circumstances, whatever the challenges look like, I would love it if you could just admit, hey God, you're awesome. I'm grateful to be in the land of the living today, and I'm grateful that you are here with me as well. We're going to deepen our 5 unity principles. If we have 5 people who wish to help us deepen them, I would like you to please stand. Okay, and we will deepen our principles in order of how we stood. I'd like you to please speak up for me, and I would like you to tell us your name.
Did I stand first?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, okay. Jane.
Jane.
God is absolute good everywhere present.
Give that to us
God
again.
is absolute good everywhere present.
Mm-hmm.
You mean that, Jane?
Yes.
You know that through experience, personal experience?
Radiating all over the place
Hallelujah.
right now. Yes.
Have you been brought out of darkness and into the light times than you can count?
Especially recently. Yes.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
Hallelujah. Let's know principle number 1 together as a community. God
is absolute good, everywhere present.
Our second principle.
My name is Lorraine. My essence, a spark of divinity, is of God, and therefore I am inherently good.
Again, please.
My essence, a spark of divinity, is of God, and therefore I am inherently good.
Okay. Let's know this as a community.
My essence, a spark of divinity, is of God, and therefore I am inherently good.
The operative word there is inherently good. We're not always outwardly good. We don't always manifest our goodness, but it can't change the fact that we're inherently good. We'll always be as God created us. God created us to be loved. Whether we're acting loving or kind in any given moment, it can't change our eternal identity. It can only fool us into thinking we're who we're not. So thank God for principle number 2. And you were 3.
I create.
Wait, who are you?
Well, I'm the person who always forgets this one, so I'm trying to look at it and try to memorize it.
Well, what's your name?
What's your name?
What's my name? Who's your daddy? My name is Jim.
Okay, Jim.
Who's your daddy?
Peter Murphy. I create the experiences. I cheated. I create my experiences by the activity of my thinking. Everything. Lord. It's okay. I'll read it. Thank you very much. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm always stuck with this one. I create my experiences by the activity of my thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has the beginning of God.
Again, please.
Create my experiences by the activity of my thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in God.
Let's know this together as a community.
I create my experiences by the activity of my thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought.
Principle number 4.
My name is David. And the fourth principle is, prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, health, prosperity, and everything good.
And again, brother.
Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, health, prosperity, and everything good.
Let's know this as a community.
Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, health, prosperity, and everything good.
Number 5.
My name's Christine. Knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, are just the beginning. I must also live the truth I know.
Again, Christine.
Knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, are just the beginning. I must also live the truth I know.
As a community together,
Knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, are just the beginning. I must also live the truth I know.
knowing I have an iron, and that the ironing board is up, and that my shirt is on it, and I've sprayed it with water, is not enough. I must also plug that bad boy in.
Oh, yes.
That's what we're doing today. Is there anybody who is with us for the first time today? If so, I would ask that you would stand and give us your name and tell us how it is that you happen to find us or choose to be with us today. If all three of you could stand, please. And tell us your name and how you found us.
I'm Kathy, and Lorraine invited me to come here.
All righty.
Welcome.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So far, are you glad you said yes?
Yes.
Okay. We are really glad you said yes. Thank you so much for
Any
being
friend
here.
of Lorraine's is a friend of ours.
Thanks.
I'm Mimi, and Debbie invited us to come.
All righty. Thank
And
you.
and I am glad to be here.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're doubly glad that you're here. Thank you so much.
I'm Paul. Debbie is a friend of ours and
Okay.
invited us to come.
Thanks for saying yes,
We are
Paul.
glad to be here.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you.